Welcome to Investing in IP with Dave. So I came across this 7-Eleven lawsuit. We all know 7-Eleven, the grocery store, not the grocery store, but the convenience store, gas station where we go get our Slurpees and our snacks and things like that from. Well, they recently filed suit against a law firm in Chicago that was also called 7-Eleven, and they filed suit for trademark infringement, which I thought was interesting, which I'll get off into the reasons here a little later, but they filed for trademark infringement. Say, hey, we didn't give authorization to this law firm to use our name, and they're using our name, and essentially they are costing us business and money, and whatever the case may be. So we're going to file suit to essentially make them change their name. Just thinking you have a business, you have a law firm, whatever the case may be. Then you get a knock on the door. Again, you're performing legal services, and then you get a knock on the door, or I guess an email these days from an attorney who sends you a cease and desist letter to say, "Hey, stop using our mark." I'm pretty sure they didn't stop using it, and then they also ultimately 7-Eleven, the store filed a lawsuit saying, "Hey, trademark infringement." Now this is interesting. I'm gonna share my screen here. Take a look at the article here. 7-Eleven sues Illinois law firm for trademark infringement. We're going to go through this article. We see the 7-Eleven mark. You see the R here. I want to bring that up because a lot of people they don't understand. Sometimes you see the TM. Sometimes you see a R at the bottom right hand corner. Typically is where it is of a logo or a mark. So when it's a R that's in a circle, that means it's a federally registered mark. That means they have a trademark on uh, on that word or on that logo. When you see the TM symbol that's at the bottom right-hand corner of a mark or logo, what that means is they are using that mark or logo in a trademark sense. It's not federally registered. They may be, taking steps to already have filed an application or just waiting for the officially issue or be registered on the principal registrar, or they maybe can't get it on the principal registrar without some additional secondary meaning is what we call it. But a lot of times you'll see TM at the bottom right hand corner of a mark if it's not registered. So let's go through the article. So Illinois law firm called 7-Eleven Group is 7-Eleven Group LLC is a law firm. Was hit with a trademark infringement suit from the convenience store with a similar name. So the convenience store says that the firm consistently uses green and white colors that are uh, evocative of the green and white traditionally used in rendering 7-Eleven's trademarks on the firm's business cards and website, according to the complaint. So this is interesting. And I don't necessarily think this is a bad idea. I don't think this is trademark infringement, if you had to ask me personally. But I also don't think that kind of trying to get, especially if it's in two different industries. So obviously, law firm, they're performing services in the legal industry. And then again, 7-Eleven, they're performing services or selling products in convenience stores and retail stores, gas stations, so forth and so on. So I think when those industries are so far different, you will see this a lot where a company would try to play off the stardom and attract business of the stardom uh, from another bigger corporation or more well-known corporation. So I know when I was growing up, you obviously have McDonald's, the fast food restaurant. But then you will see a lot of McDonald's candies, McDonald's this, McDonald's that they weren't in fast food or maybe selling candy, but they tried to start the business with the name McDonald's to hopefully, in my opinion, I don't want to say trick, but get some of those users that they may think, hey, they maybe think we're affiliated with the restaurant and they may come as a result of that, or they may just trying to play on the word and try to get business by having a pretty popular name. But that doesn't mean that that's necessarily trademark infringement, just because you're using the same name, especially in two different industries. Now, obviously, if the law firm had another convenience store that was called 7-Eleven, then or a gas station or whatever the case may be, then they would be in big trouble at that point. But legal services, name 7-Eleven, does that is that trademark infringement? Man, I think that's a stretch, but let's see what they're talking about. So again, this is the law firm that says, I think this complaint. Okay, so it says, I think that this complaint is baseless. We are operate in two very different industries. This is another example of how these large corporations try to oppress small black-owned businesses, and we will be fighting this. So this is the owner of the law firm, India. So it seems like it's a woman-owned law firm, and it seems like she's a black woman-owned law firm. So, and again, I think, man, she has a good point at this. Hey, we're in completely two different industries. We perform legal services, and they sell candies and Slurpees and gas. No one is going to get confused that our legal services are tied to 7-Eleven, a convenience store, or are they? Let's keep reading. 7-Eleven says that it learned of the alleged infringement. So this is the 7-Eleven. The gas station, the convenience store, says it learned of the alleged infringement when one of its franchisees said it had reached out to the law firm under the impression that it was the convenience store chain's internal legal department. It says it then sent Rios a cease and desist letter. She allegedly sent a response email stating that her trademark wasn't diluting the convenience store's trademark. So this is interesting because she's saying that the owner of the law firm is saying, "Man, our name isn't conflicting with you guys or diluting your trademark in convenience stores and the trademark you have for convenience stores and retail stores and gas stations." And as I said before, I don't think 7-Eleven convenience store would have brought this case if they didn't have that issue. Or in other words, if a franchisee did not get confused that they thought that this law firm 7-Eleven was somehow under the umbrella of the 7-Eleven convenience store or retail services. If I don't think if that mistake had been made or if that a conflict wasn't had that this 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 lawsuit would have even been brought. I think the fact that the franchisee owner mistakenly thought that this law firm 7-Eleven was somehow tied to the retail store chain, I think that would kind of spurred all this and brought on this lawsuit, which is unfortunate because you'll see this all the time. You have an Apple store, you have I guess the Apple the phone company, you may have Apple tables or Apple restaurant or whatever the case may be, which is in two completely separate industries. And again, this is not uh, out of the ordinary. This is not unusual. This happens all the time. But I think the fact that that franchisee owner got confused, I think that's what uh, essentially spearheaded this lawsuit here. So let's keep reading here. In addition to its trademark infringement claims, the convenience store brings claims for unfair competition, trademark dilution, and deceptive trade practices, which, I mean, in my opinion, I think all this is BS. It is asked for preliminary and permanent injunction. So they pretty much asking the court to tell the law firm, India Rios law firm, to, hey, tell them that they have to temporarily stop using this mark, but they also have to permanently stop using this mark forever. So essentially, you got to rebrand your own law firm if the judge was to grant this the preliminary and permanent injunction. So it's interesting. I think that 7-Eleven store is reaching in this situation, but I'm gonna continue to follow this and kind of bring you guys updates on this one. But I thought this was interesting because stop sharing my screen here. Again, this is just the nature of the game, man. When you're talking about having something of value, creating a business, starting a business, protecting your IP, you're gonna have these issues that come up from time to time where people are gonna try to sue you. The lawsuit is not gonna be as strong, or the lawsuit may be strong depending on the fact pattern. But you just kind of have to understand the law and understand at the end of the day, having your IP and owning your IP is still worth it, especially when you're trying to kind of build something. And again, I think 7-Eleven, the convenience store, is stretching personally in this situation. But again, we'll see how this plays out. Don't let this kind of scare you off, knowing that, okay, maybe the big guy is going to come for me if I have something that's similar or close to one of these big corporations. Again, I think they're stretching in this situation. Again, I think this lawsuit would have never been brought if that franchisee owner did not mistakenly call the law firm thinking that it was 7-Eleven's legal department. Come on now. We all know that, hey, you're going to call the franchise, you're going to call the franchisor, the franchise office, and you're going to, maybe ask to speak to a legal department. It's not going to be a, a 7-Eleven LLC that you're thinking is somehow tied to 7-Eleven, the convenience store. Man, I think this is a bunch of BS, but we'll see what happens, man. I'm gonna continue to try to follow this case and bring you guys the verdict of what happened. So hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, peace.